Yo, you tuning into the Notion podcast. This your boy Dizzy D Spill with my co-host in the building.
Jelani Evans.
Your guy, Farmer Poe.
That's good, man. Before we get into it, you gotta tell me about this. Tell me about this hoodie, Jelani. It's one of my favorite owner exclusives, bro. What inspired that?
Oh, the shoes I'm wearing?
Okay.
The shoes inspired the hoodie?
Yeah, look at them. Tie-dye, ray gun. You feel me? So, I got the shoes. I made the hoodie to match the kicks.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't do the sign.
Yeah, cut and sew, sleeves and pocket hood, tie-dye, you feel me?
Definitely fresh, man.
So this wasn't no coincidence today.
What, how everybody's rocking?
No, this wasn't
no, it wasn't. It wasn't. We kind of cohesive in an interesting way.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
you got like your color going on, and then I got my color going on, and then he kind of got like both of what we got rocking.
It's colorful.
Yeah, it's different.
Bright today.
It's definitely fall though.
Yeah, I couldn't wait.
I
couldn't wait for the season. I ain't gonna
I don't
lie
really
to
care.
you.
I like the season because of like the different pieces. I don't really like the summer attire. I like layers and beanies and hoodies and sweats. I feel like you could relax more to in a different way in the winter gear than summer gear.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
A lot of my winter gear is I guess you could say a little more upscale-ish type.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like some of the coats and sweaters and whatnot, so it ain't like nothing you could just throw on and like.
Yeah.
Most of my sweats and whatnot are usually kind of, I don't know, muted or bright color. It's one way or the other. I don't really have too many fall things yet.
There we go.
I got a drop coming with fall color, so
okay.
There's that.
Tell us about this jacket, man. Poe, what inspired this, man? What you got going on?
Oh man, this what inspired it, man, is just taste. I like it. It's a Sherpa.
Okay.
It's I like the cut. I'm doing different cuts and things now, and obviously tie dye is pretty cool for me. It's not a cliche tie dye. I don't like the spin wheel tie dye. I'm not like a cliche
that's
guy.
corny.
A lot of things are corny to me for sure.
I mean, if you wear that, shout out to you,
but I just don't like that. So this is pretty dope, and it's from a brand that's actually very affordable from California, and that's what I'm doing with a lot of the clothes that I buy now. It's really shit that's honestly local. Or somebody made it, like somebody like a small business owner.
Yeah.
And
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
I don't want to get a brand away because it is it's a popular brand, but it ain't popular, and I don't want.
You don't want to give away all your.
I can't give away all the ism, man.
I get it. I feel the same way about certain stuff. I don't want to give it all away. Like, nah.
You a barcode down though.
Yeah, man. I had to hit him with the.
He on the what you on to that, man?
I got the olive. I guess the olive green.
Fall vibes.
The fall olive green bust down. So it's the hoodie, owner exclusive, the beanie. It's a couple of those. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Is the hoodie owner exclusive? I thought you did some of those.
I did them for the women.
For the ladies.
I did the crops for the women.
For the lady.
You know what I'm saying? So I did mine.
Talk your shit.
Just a little bit of something.
Can they cop that right now?
They can't cop the owner exclusive. The women can cop it. I got a few of the crop hoodies left for the women, and I got the beanies left for the women and men, because those are unisex. But this right here, like I do owner exclusives, and then I determine sometimes off the feedback I'm gonna get if I want to entertain. You know what I'm saying? Making some stuff, but I gotta have some stuff for myself.
I never entertain, bro. Well, just because it's like the owner exclusives are usually for kicks that I have. You feel me? Like
that makes sense.
This one specifically, like it's for kicks that I have, and there's two versions of this. You know what I'm saying? But after I make it for me, then it's like, oh, I want that, and it's like, nah, I'm not recreating this.
No,
I'm not.
No.
And then like, are you gonna pay what I'm charging?
Yeah, because I pay what I charge myself for it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just thinking about it because like you got a couple custom from my brand, and they're not cheap. But that's because they're cutting soul and a lot of time and effort goes into it. You feel
It's
me?
really
It's
it's
like-
actual creativity behind it instead of just trying to mass produce a whole bunch and then stick a limited time label to it.
I don't really do that.
Yeah, man.
Take time with everything.
Yeah, dog. It's like that with the diversity in your style. It's difficult to want to share your style like that, your techniques and where you get different ideas and stuff like that. But I do like seeing local stuff, regardless of what it is, or things of that nature. That's really a thing that's kind of history repeating itself. Years ago, it was a lot of things were local and culturally.
Only
and
that's all you had.
Hey, these wasn't local though. I ain't gonna lie. These was definitely far, far away, like far east China.
Yeah,
you got them from Alibaba.
Nah, these are Shein. Shims.
Yeah.
You mean Shein?
These was $20, bro. Like,
You mean
real talk.
Shein?
I like them though.
Yeah.
$20. You know what I mean?
I like how
I'm
you trying
not
to say
into
it like it
buying
was
shit
something
because it's
exotic.
expensive. I'm buying
Shein. Nigga, Shein?
Yo, that's how it go though, man.
Yeah,
But speaking of like businesses and the repeat of like that being the entrepreneurship scenario, you guys familiar with Keith Lee?
Oh yeah, I've just become familiar with Keith Lee.
Yeah,
I
I
ain't
know.
gonna act like I know who.
I don't know him.
I was
but
about
know
to say,
of
you
him.
know that nigga?
Yeah, I hit him earlier and was like, boy, all that drama you
shit
drugged up
crazy.
was wild.
How do y'all
Slow it
feel
down.
about the backlash that he got going to Atlanta and doing his honest opinion and criticism on certain places and certain services out there? They call that Wakanda. Some people call it Wakanda. I say well,
I call
kinda.
it Atlanta.
I'll call it well, kinda. But
Well, kinda.
but
Fire.
Louis, what is your take on just I don't want to say the publicity, but just the feedback, whatever, people's opinions and businesses and stuff like
Let's
that.
let our listeners know who Keith Lee is, because at first I thought it was a UFC fighter.
Yeah, he's a
He's a former.
UFC fighter. But you know what?
MMA.
Is that Kevin Lee?
It's his brother.
You a motherfucker.
Yes, his brother.
That's why I thought I wouldn't look
Yeah.
him. I was like, hold on, Keith. I was like, okay. He
Kevin
popped
Lee
up.
is his
Kevin
brother,
Lee,
and
that's
he
his
used to
brother.
be an MMA
That's
fighter.
why I remember.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Yeah,
But I
don't
heard-
fuck around with him. His brother is.
Is a beast?
Yeah.
Because I know you into the UFC.
Yeah,
stuff.
leave them niggas alone.
Yeah.
Fellas alone.
But his backstory. He's been doing a lot of reviews on TikTok, honest reviews.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, from what I've
He's
heard,
been doing that for a while though.
they aren't very.
So I know you're real thorough with it. Do you have a ballpark idea of how long he's been doing the reviews before he finally started getting that notoriety?
I'm imagining COVID. That's when a lot of people got popping.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't remember it, but it's like I feel like it's been a few years.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of
You know
people
what I'm
got
saying?
their shit popping.
Well, and I don't even want to say that's when he started, but it seemed like that's when he started to
Picking up
get a
traction.
little more, traction and notoriety behind it. I mean, at the end of the day, with him being an MMA fighter and having the connections that he does, it wasn't like it was just some random dude doing it. There was a little bit of familiarity already with his
Right.
you know what I'm saying, his following, his base. And so from that point on, he was just going to places and giving honest reviews. And
They, from what I've heard, the reviews are not reviews that are highly critical, but they're more
Honest.
but giving a respectful, honest review.
So constructive criticism, basically.
Yeah, and from what I've heard, there has been several restaurants that have improved after taking the advice.
well,
that he
the thing
provided.
about it is, like, if you trust somebody's opinion, right, and they eat somewhere that's local to you or somewhere that's in the vicinity that you're unfamiliar with or unaware of, I mean, after getting that review, you might be like, oh, I didn't even know they was there. I'm gonna go check them out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And his platform, his reach has been big enough to yield that type of result to where people are inclined to go check it out.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I remember seeing one, this probably was like easily like a year and a half ago, where he had did this review for this pizza spot, and he was like, yo, everything was good, and it was just like, and he eats the food on camera, so you actually like get his facial reactions and like, you know what I'm saying, like it's real. So it's like, yo, he was like, and he detonated everything like on camera, like, yo, this is fire. And from there, they received a lot of business moving forward. And so it's just like, people pay attention to his reviews because he's doing it. He's been doing it for so long. He's been, you know what I'm saying, consistent as far as in like going to different places and then traveling. And he's been on this whole little tour across the U.S., like going to places. I remember, I want to say he was in the Midwest, and it was like Detroit, Chicago, and somewhere else, and he finally made his way to Atlanta. So, I mean,
with Atlanta having this title of being the safe haven, if you will, for black business and stuff like that, do you guys see this as an example of how we need to do better with our business and handling constructive criticism? Because it took one man from the culture to give his honest opinion, who has a platform to kind of ruffle some feathers and things of that nature.
And I'm sure that definitely agree with what you're saying. From what I've heard, it's more the criticism that he's giving them is based on customer service.
Okay.
But it's also based off of his own experience, and he's also said that, you feel me, businesses can have bad days, which we all know is true. Businesses can have bad days. It happens. So, you know what I'm saying, just because I didn't have the greatest experience doesn't mean it'll be the same for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, he tells people to go in and try the food yourself, go and, you know what I'm saying, find your own experience. I'm just trying to figure out, like, where's all the backlash? Like, what backlash are you speaking of?
Well, okay. So I sent you a clip earlier this week, and I didn't realize why the conversation was happening. I just thought the interaction was funny, and it was between Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco. And they sat on two different sides. Shannon Sharp is like, hey, you know, this dude is an experienced person going around and all of these other things, giving his personal opinion that people obviously respect to a certain degree. And Ocho Cinco's take was, you shouldn't be saying anything negative about the black businesses and all of this other stuff. And that's when Uncle Shay Shay left it with, hell no, we're not doing that.
What are we talking about?
And so the backlash is that he got some death threats. His family got some threats, and then some of the businesses got some threats too, based off
from what I got with I'm not talking about the Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco, but what I got from the place that had God knows like death threats or whatever, like he said, I went to the real Milk and Honey, not Milk and Honey ATL. So they sending all these negative things towards Milk and Honey ATL, and the crazy thing about it is, like, he is a big advocate on don't comment anything negative, don't be disrespectful, don't, like, he says that all the time. Like, to anybody who did that or who felt that was cool, like, he's like, you really don't support me or my family or what I have going on in any shape, form, or fashion, because that's not what we're about over here. So it's just like, and at the end of the day, it's like, bro, if you haven't actually been to this place and experienced bad service, for you to want to be disrespectful, negative, or send death threats on behalf of somebody that you probably don't know personally to a place you've never been to
and probably never supported,
is ignorant as hell. Like, that's stupid. Like, what are you doing? How does that make sense? How does that, like, what do you think? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I've never met this dude in person before. I've never been to this place before. But y'all motherfucking go to heck. Like, come on, really? Really? Like, find something better to do at your time. You're too invested for no reason.
I feel like this was a great example of what we talk about a lot of times when it comes to having some decorum in the way we handle things, being able to really take criticism. Because I feel like if Gordon Ramsay showed up and was talking crazy like he normally talks, people would be like, yeah, man, we got to get it together. You know what I'm saying? This is world renowned person. And that's the issue that I have. Like, we want to pick and choose whose criticism we'll take, and just instead of understanding that criticism is going to be there, and we know the truth when people are telling us stuff. We just don't want to hear it.
I don't know if that would have flown in ATL though. Gordon might have got jumped in ATL.
Maybe, but you know what? Maybe, but at the same time, it'd be the most hood people when when they see somebody from TV that they recognize and actually watch, they be like, hey man, he a real one though. It's the weird thing about our culture is we pick and choose who's real and who's not based off how corny they really are or really not. You know what I'm saying? And so I felt like this was a good example to show us. We holding the mirror up like, look, we don't want to hear nothing. And the crazy thing is, right, is I don't know if you've went through this yet, Poe, but I know me and Jelani went through this all the time. We're always like, yo, give feedback on our products. It's hard for us to just get feedback from people that's actually cop something, or people that's just interested, or just getting people to share at times. So now you have somebody.
In what form?
Any feedback, whether it's positive or negative. You know what I'm saying?
The thing about it is
hold on. So let me get clear. Like, so someone purchases a product or pays for a service, and they are not verbalizing
their experience
to you guys.
Well, with the clothing, the feedback is minimal. I will say, like, with services, the response that I get when I finish a pair of shoes and I get them back, like, the response is always one of appreciation. Like, they're thankful, and, like, you know what I'm saying? And in certain cases, they're amazed at the turnaround. But outside of that, like, it's not being shared across any social media, and it's crazy because it's like a lot of people will find me on Yelp and get my services and fail to leave a Yelp review.
Yeah, and
I haven't gotten reviews on social media, and I'm chalking that up to possibly just the fact that I don't have it. The people who've purchased it don't really like post it on Instagram or anything like that. I have gotten reviews back from the products. Typically, I do get a review back from the customer.
Well, see, the point that I'm making with that, right, is that there's people like us that aren't getting that feed, because regardless of what publicity it is, it could work to your advantage if enough people are talking, right? You could possibly get some supporters, no matter how good or how negative your stuff is, just because of the individual. So with these businesses, that was an opportunity, whether it was a good review or a bad review, that was an opportunity to get an honest opinion and exposure and to respond, because some of these companies are really good. I actually met with the marketing team at my job last week, and we were giving them information on what they should be doing with the business, right? And some of these businesses are really good at responding. Hey, we hear you. We're going to look into this. Or can you send us a message? Or can you send us an email and give us more detail? Because most people need that data to figure out where they stand. Who are they reaching? Right. What are the real concerns? Right. So I felt like this is one of those things missing with people in our culture with business, and understanding that everything ain't gonna be peachy. Everybody's not gonna like your product, and sometimes you are making a mistake, or you are hard-headed about something that somebody tried to tell you about, and now it's exposed to the public. What are you gonna do about it? How do you think these big corporations handle recalls? There's a recall every week, whether it's cars, whether it's food, whether it's something. How do you think these businesses handle that and stay afloat? And what the hell is R&D supposed to do if there's no feedback? You know what I'm saying?
Like, everything should be taken as a constructive criticism, because that's how I handle it. You know what I'm saying? Everything is taken as a constructive criticism. I don't take anything negatively, because at the end of the day, yeah, I enjoy what I do. Yeah, I like what I do, but I'm not just doing it for me. I'm doing it for, you feel me, my clients, my customers, to service, you feel me, other people. So I need that feedback, whether they enjoyed the experience, the service or not, whether they feel some type of way about the clothing, whether it's good or not. I need to know, because at the end of the day, if it's good and it's positive, then that means I need to stay consistent. If it's bad and it's negative, then that means that I need to make some changes and I need to adjust. Either way, it helps in the long run.
Absolutely.
You know, for sure. But you also have to have that thought process, right? You have to have that perspective initially. Otherwise, somebody give you a negative review and you'll take it the wrong way, and it's all they hate, and you know, they always, you know what I'm saying? And it's never that. Like, I don't think anybody is really out to just tear down a business.
Absolutely
what
not.
they could have done and would have probably worked is acknowledged and said, hey, thank you for the review. We're looking to maybe improve upon some of the things that you've suggested or whatever, or just even say thank you for the review, glad to have had you as a customer.
Exactly.
And then move it on, and then people who already like you, they'll be like, oh, okay, let me see. And then people who don't or heard about you but see that you're going to take some time to improve upon your product, then they may be more willing to go ahead and even give you a try.
That could be a determining factor a lot in how you respond to something.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that with the way he was reviewing things, I thought it was important to the point where this is an opportunity right here for more people to get into this lane to help better the way we do business. It don't just have to be him. There could be a person like him in different areas of business that we conduct, because at the end of the day, how many times do we hear about people in our culture trying to give some form of a business a chance because they're of the culture, and it's one of the most horrible experiences. And then we're like, damn, like how, like now I'm in limbo. I want to help out, I want to contribute, but then I don't want a shitty experience or a terrible service behind that. And then it's the stigma too. Then it's the people that do conduct great business that gotta get the stigma attached to them because of other people. So
for sure,
I appreciate what he does, and I hope there's more people that come out and do it in different industries.
I don't.
You know what I'm saying?
And I just because it's like at that point in the state of industries, in the state that we're in, as far as in social media, and people feeling like their voice already carries more weight than it does, then they'll start to overvalue their reviews, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see, like, the thing about Keith Lee specifically is that he's humble, right? And he's not trying to be a celebrity or a superstar or get any privilege from it. He pays for everything. He gives honest reviews. He's not
He won't even cut the line.
He's not disrespectful. He doesn't do any of that, and he doesn't expect that. Whereas I could see a lot of people trying to do that, then expecting to be able to cut the lines, get free things, right? Get promo pieces and things of that nature because I give reviews and people pay attention to what I have to say.
See,
it's like, bro,
that's why I said we need more people like him.
Yeah, like him.
Because there are things, there's another thing I learned in this marketing meeting. There's people that are sweepstakes chasers, and there's people that are opportunists as far as in, I want to be an ambassador because I know I'll get free at A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? And so when I actually did more...
A, B, C, D, E, F, Gs?
Yeah, man, SpaghettiOs. So when I looked into what this guy does in detail, I'm like, yo, this is great information. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, he breaks it down to everything that he tries, and you rarely kind of see that. You can see an influencer and they'll be like, oh yeah, I like this, or whatever the case is. But what people don't know about influencers is they're handpicking things that they already feel like they're going to like, whether it's the look, the packaging. But he's just going and saying, I'm going to go see for myself, and you're going to watch me in real time, the transaction and everything. And that I can see why he has a following, because there are a few of us still out here that appreciate honest opinion or constructive criticism that's not influenced by money or sponsorships or whatever. And a lot of that is social media, bruh. Like, yep. Unfortunately, that's the core of what we're dealing with. And speaking of social media, another list came up. Keep making these lists. This time the list was a woman, and she had around 25 things that a woman should be doing for her man.
Now
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Yeah, it's 25.
Is it 25?
Let's find out how many of them checked. How many?
Now, do this for me for a minute before we dissect this. Before we even make a comment, brother, can you just read however many you feel like reading? If you want to read the whole 25.
So I'm gonna just read it off how it says. It says, list of things you should do as a woman. Do you even meet the qualifications of everything that you're requiring of a man?
That's a 70-year-old woman.
Y'all are creating.
No. That's the picture she put up. That's the 70-year-old woman that wrote that.
Be his safe place, comfort zone, feel like home. Listen, be understanding, be patient. 3 and 4. Feed his soul. Love him unconditionally. Pray for him. Be his peace. Be his best friend. Uplift, encourage, support him, believe in him. Give forgiveness, grace, and be compassionate. Understand him. Give him space. Cook for him. Feed him. Home cooked meals. Respect him. Be submissive.
For y'all.
Allowing him to lead. Add value to life. Be nurturing. Heal and grow with him. Give him king treatment. Have a spiritual connection.
Yeah, that's an old woman.
Help him become a better man. Be able to take care of yourself. Never look at a man. Never look at a man for what he can do for you financially.
Yo.
Take away his problems. Bring balance.
That's
25 is take his soul.
That's,
and you know what that.
Minus 25. That was his mama.
Check this out though. I wouldn't even say that. This is the thing about it, right?
Nah, just fucking.
This list doesn't apply to
modern woman.
No. I wouldn't even say that. It doesn't apply to a large percentage because this type of list is for what's the word? Established relationships, marriage, even. It sounds like a list for marriage, right? But on the same breath, if you two are established, if you have history, if you guys expect to be together, if you guys have been through some things and this is where you're at now, then that makes sense from that standpoint. But this isn't a list for just in general for a woman to do for a man she's been dating six months to a year. I mean, some of these things on the list, 100%, like be his peace, bring him balance, you know what I'm saying, that type of stuff, support him and things of that nature, that makes sense. But this list is more or less for I'll say marriages and established relationships that have some sense of longevity and you guys have been through some things, right?
I think the list was made to show the women who are requiring that they not be taken to any places on that list. Well, do you have the qualities and is this even part of your plan in life?
But the thing about it though,
want a man who is willing to give you more than the standard.
But the list that we talking about, that was for first date, so that can't even, like, they're two different. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but if your mind is on,
like, you see, but the whole thing about it, if your mind is on where he's taking you, then this list don't even apply to you because you don't meet them qualifications.
So
you see what I'm saying?
That's what that list.
But it's also a first date, so you can't even. You guys don't even know each other for her to have that type of mindset, right? She might have that type of mindset for a man that she knows is worth it, but she doesn't know you from Tom and Jack, right?
A picnic is a first date.
No, 100%. We're not disclosing what a first date can be. Yeah. We're just saying that, like, on a first date, you don't know somebody well enough to be like, I'm gonna bring him peace and I'm gonna be his balance, because no,
of course not. But at a point in time in life when you're seeking out a partner, it's that's why I said that list, there was some generational like pieces in there, the original list, because at what point in time in your life are you going to be seeking out a partner and have that in mind rather than just...
But that's the thing about it. If you're looking for a partner, you don't really care about the first date. You don't care you care about the first date, but you don't care about where they take you. You care more about the connection, the interaction, the vibes, getting to understand somebody. We're
kind of saying the same thing. So I'm saying that I think that list, the second list, was made to distinguish the difference between the women who talk about that list and the women who got that in mind.
So this is what I'm gonna say. First of all, the list that she wrote, a lot of men probably would like it. That shit was redundant as hell.
Yeah, it was.
It said a lot of the same thing.
It said the same thing.
A lot of the same.
And so this is what my first statement is gonna make, exposing that. Rule number one, women and fellas, to tell these women, rule number one, listen to what the men say they want. If you are sitting back listening to what other women are telling you what men want, you are still going off of a woman's perspective and not a man. So you should be listening to what the man or that man says. Now
I don't want that woman right
now
there.
that list
I don't.
that list sounded like somebody that thinks that those things particularly should be appreciated.
That's a woman that probably I ain't even like. That's a woman that may not get a lot of attention from men. Who
Well,
wrote that list.
Well, like I said, that it was a list of 25, but to me it was 5, just written 15 different times.
But it
right?
was some shit sprinkled
But I
in
do
there.
think
There was
that
some shit sprinkled in there like cook.
Yeah, of course. But
They don't know how to cook.
the thing is,
So then that's what make that list difficult.
no. Let me break it down to you like this even more, right? So the dinner thing, because I was seeing the interaction where one isn't connected to the other, but I think it is, and I'm gonna tell you why. You have a lot of people that have demands for things that have no business even standing up there having those demands, because they don't even meet the criteria of this area right here. So it's like, for example, Kicks and Sneakers blows up, and I love shoes, and I show up and say, yo, I think I should be a part of this. It's big in the culture. I'm big in the culture. I think you should have me a part of a lot of the logistics and things that you got going on, man. I don't know why you overlooking me. And Jelani's going to say,
Who the fuck are you?
Who the hell are you? Do you know what a midsole is? Do you know the different materials? Do you know the different chemicals I use? Do you know what a dry clean is? And before you know it, it's like you've exposed that they're not qualified. So I really like the fact. Thank you, Beans. I think that is the point of the list. You're not qualified.
You're not qualified to
ask me that question. So I think that I wish it was a better list. I wish whoever wrote it had sat down with a man and say, hey, what do you think? That's the problem with a lot of these conversations on social media about men and women, is you have a lot of women speaking for the women and a lot of women speaking for the men.
For sure.
Shut up. That's not your area.
For sure.
And then you got the dudes that's caping. You know what I'm saying? They caping, you know what I mean? The only thing missing is the little curl on the head. You know what I mean? They caping, and it's like, we know you're caping, bro. What's up?
Which Superman you talking about? Which version of Superman?
It don't matter.
The one he caping.
Nah.
I know you talking about the other.
Yeah,
he not super. He not
I'm
that
just
super.
asking which version of Superman you talking about.
Because there is a different one. I know what you're saying.
You're talking about the Lois Lane one. The one that's always saving her.
The one that actually likes Lois Lane, like for real.
Okay.
The one that's always caping.
Yeah, the one that's always caping.
All right, be careful.
Not the one that like hanging.
Get confused.
Not the one that always like hanging with Batman and Flash all the time. You know what I'm saying? Right. You see what I mean? So yeah.
Nigga fuck around. He appeared.
But I think those are my points as far as the list thing. I think it's actually stupid.
It's repetitive and it's redundant. If you really want to think about it. Because at the end of the day, if you're dealing with a real woman, she's going to be nurturing already. You don't have to tell her to be that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking at some stuff on the list and I was just kind of like, nah.
Yeah.
I never liked the be his piece or be their piece thing. When that first came out, I've always hated that.
Well, because he needs to be at peace himself.
Right.
If he's not at peace, you can't be his
make
peace.
him happy.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And it's like, that's something that he is dealing with from a mental and emotional standpoint. And if he's not at peace, you can't be his peace.
Sure.
You can look to help him obtain peace.
Right.
Right?
Right.
But you can't be his peace. No. He has to have that already from within. That's, you know what I'm saying? Like,
we're really simple.
Quiet.
Yeah.
At times, yes.
You can,
during
you can
the game,
be quiet like that, you know, like peaceful.
Peace and quiet.
I'm running up this XP. What do you want?
Yeah.
Bro, we most men have about 3 to 5 major things that you got to do, and we gonna be good. I don't want to say what those 3 to 5 things are because we're all different. The whole point is our list is not that long, and 25? unfortunately, women, y'all do have a long list of things and demands that y'all want from men. So it's hilarious to me when men
always like improving and getting
check this out.
It's being edited. I wouldn't say improving.
Updated.
I keep going back to this list and I'm looking. I'm just like, so I mean, like, if you are dealing with a woman and you're on top of your game from a mental and emotional standpoint, you ain't got to tell her to be submissive. She's gonna follow your lead because you're leading. You have a plan.
Right.
You operate a
Yeah,
certain
being-
way. You execute. You make things happen. And even in the midst when you're not making things happen, you're maintaining a certain mental and emotional status that be in a position to make things happen as far as in being able to guide.
Right.
Is
Right?
that
Give
like the-
game, give insight, give information, give support, and be there on multiple levels.
Right. That's
Like,
real.
So it's just, I don't know. It just, I keep going back to the list, and I'm like, I don't know.
Like I said,
love him unconditionally.
we've had these different conversations,
what
and
does
I've
that
always
even mean?
what
Love him unconditionally. Like, what does that mean?
I think.
Unconditional love.
I think.
Get
I,
your
does
ass
that mean?
whooped. You still love him.
Yeah. What does that?
I think that was a good way of putting it, but it was still redundant. Basically, what I think she's trying to explain is that a lot of times men are important and loved as long as they're providing.
Yeah, because it's conditions on my love, nigga. You got me fucked up. It's conditions.
Conditions.
There are conditions on, like, you know how they say unconditional love. It's like, nah, it's conditions.
I think that's what it is, man. I think that's what she's getting at. I mean, it's biblical. It's in the Bible, or it breaks all that stuff down too.
That's all you had to say was in the Bible.
But as far as everybody don't. Some people worship the phone book. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. My whole point
They
is,
still have those?
yeah, man. There's some crazy collectors out there, my
You
guy.
never know when this
Sitting on top of the fridge collecting big dust.
You know what I'm saying? January, Jordan might come out with the phone book for us. We don't know, bro. We don't know. Yellow pages. But I'm just saying
They'd be trash.
that I felt that when I understood that when I was said, because it does seem that way. You hear it all the time where a guy can have it all, and then when he hits rough times, people are disappearing and that woman is gone. And
I know y'all had to have seen that video where this female was like, yeah, he helped me out and he did this and he helped put me through nursing school and whoopty whoop whoop, and he was up here and he brought me up to here, you know, because he was making good money, whoopty whoop whoop, and then he lost his job. You know what I did? I left him because I can't be taking care of no man. I was just like, yo, so you
was that a prank or was that real?
I remember that, but I
don't know if it was real or not. But the thing about it, it's
'Cause I
crazy
remember
because
hearing
it's
something
like,
like that.
so he helped you level up, right?
Yeah.
He helped you get your stuff together. He helped put you through school to be in a better situation to be able to provide and produce from a financial standpoint. And I'm sure he was there for you from an emotional standpoint, and he held you down, right? When you wasn't on the level that he was on, he brought you up to his level, and then he tripped and fell, and because of that, he dropped down. And so now that he's down here, you can't see it in yourself to do for him what he did for you.
Yeah, because you hella out of pocket because
That's wild.
Wouldn't nobody be there to watch Lil Anthony while you at the strip club trying to shake your ass for dollars to pay for your nursing
I'm gonna
program?
keep it a bean with you, bro. Like
the nursing
we've been
program
more.
costs, nigga.
It shows on paper, bro, that we have always been okay with dating down way more than women.
Yeah, women, I mean, you
Well,
know.
because the
Women think that they date down because they get into a situation that they don't like when they have all the red flags. And it's like, well, I've already tried this. I've tried the Pookies and I've tried the Ray Rays. And it's like, we go into a scenario understanding that, okay, yeah, man, she works at the coffee shop, whatever the case is. I just want to get to know her. And then we'll actually use the position that they're in as maybe she's humble, maybe she's kind, or whatever the case is, because she's doing something really modest and she's really quiet. With us, it's different.
Well,
we could be broke if we're tall, if we're fit, if we putting it down. Like, there's conditions that get around other requirements. That's why a lot of these women be upset when certain things don't go the way that they want it to go. It's just like a dude when we've seen it online where it'll be a dude that's classified as ugly and he got a really pretty girl, and he'll be like, well, I'm funny. That's a real thing. You're making up for something somewhere.
Well, because most of the time we're not dating or picking women based on what resources they provide. Like,
exactly.
We don't need them for, or not saying we don't need them for that, but for the most part, the way in which we are operating is not based on what she can provide for us necessarily.
We choose women based off of how much we dig them and what we see in them as far as in personality.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And just how they operate as
Can
a
I stand
person.
to be around you?
You know
a
what I'm
lot?
saying?
Yeah.
Like how we vibe with them.
Right.
It's not based off more than that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it's like, we meet you, if we dig you, we feel you're compatible, we like your energy, good personality. Like, yo, you know what? I can see me spending time with this woman on a consistent basis and her
Right.
not getting on my nerves or rubbing me the wrong way.
Right.
And from there, it builds and it grows, and
then
that's what it is.
And
Women be
it's
like,
their job to show us more than what we see initially, because they'll put it on us as saying like we are only operating off of the visual.
Right, and but you let them tell it. Well, they get dressed like this for themselves.
But it's your job. Yeah, we operate off the visual, but now your job is to give us more, tell us, show us more about you.
Everything is visual, so that's why that we could easily dismiss that argument on their end, because everything is visual. If somebody hands you, a nice dinner, whether it's a lobster dinner or a steak dinner on a trash can top, all of a sudden you're not that hungry.
is it on a plate, on a trash can top, or is it actually touching the trash
No, the
can
restaurant is called trash can top. No, just playing.
And sometimes that's aesthetics.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? So, of course, we're always going to have to walk through that door of what's past and, what's in front of us, right? So that can't be an argument. That's the initial hook, right? That's what gets the fish on the line. Everything else is just like, all right, what are you like? And we see it in the world today, in entertainment, in sports. All of these young athletes, they having babies like crazy with all of these different women. All of those men, and a lot of women ain't gonna like this, but all of those men are, by their standards, dating down. Whether even if you're a successful guy and you're making six figures and stuff like that, and you decide to, be with somebody that makes less money than you. When women say that, well, he got to make more than me, he got to do this, you do realize he's dating down, right? If you're not on the same level, he's going down.
And to say,
so
a lot of
men
that
don't
is
think about that though.
We don't.
We don't care.
But I'm using their standards and showing the hypocrisy behind it.
And what's even crazier, like, you say everything is based off looks, but not really, because you done seen, like, I know women have been like, how did she get him? She played her position. I enjoy her company. She has great energy. She has a great mindset. Her personality is wonderful. It's not all about looks, because a lot of people will say some of the prettiest women have their attitudes and personalities are trash.
I'll give you an example about looks, right? I remember the homie Jay James was over at the house, right? And this was hilarious. And he used you as an example, Poe. He was like, yeah, man. I'm gonna tell you. He was like, yeah, man, Poe got it tight, man. He be liking women that got gunshot wounds and in a black eye right here, whatever the case it was.
What the fuck wrong with this nigga?
And I started busting up laughing because he made a joke about it, right? But what he was saying is that the way you look at certain women, there's certain features on a woman that you like and appreciate.
He right.
You see what I'm saying? There's certain features on a woman that you appreciate. She might have like a little mole right here or whatever the case it is, and you're like, yo, I like that.
Yeah.
So that could be the allure for that individual. I think that's where the beauty of the eye of the beholder, where I don't really care about that phrase, but I think when you visualize, you see something or someone that's visually appealing, you're like, yo, I want to get closer to that and learn more about it. Because there's people that think certain people are attractive, and there's a whole group of people that are like, you tripping. You know what I'm saying? So being attracted to that person versus deeming that person attractive is what I was getting at with the looks.
I got that. Yeah, okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
Because certain traits are really attractive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Certain traits are.
Certain things can make a person look way more better than they look, because it's like, yo, man, I don't never heard that person yell about nothing. They just real calm, or this person always has a positive attitude, no matter how. Those things can be attractive to an individual.
For sure.
Yo, I like the fact that person just shuts the hell up when they know they know.
I used to be like that.
A woman with an ugly voice.
Yo,
let's talk about
we're not going down that road. We're not. It's horrible.
You said we're not going down Mac Road?
Nah, we're not.
I heard Mac Road. I was
we're not doing that. We're not.
You gotta text her.
We're not.
She cannot call the phone.
I don't
Y'all
really
getting
like
an
to. I
argument?
don't really like to talk on the phone. No way. That's not really.
Yeah, you know, I used to feel like a way about
I feel like that's a problem
Oh, man, you know, the
for people
youngsters
getting to
only
know each other, bro. Like, I mean, I know what you mean. It's like, yo, I already know you just pull up or we gon' whatever. But I definitely feel like part of the reason why there's so many disconnects, why there's so many lists and so many unrealistic standards is because there's two of the best ways to interact with a person is either over the phone or in person because you can still
I prefer in person.
you can still get the body language. When you're on the phone, you can hear somebody's tone. You know if they got an attitude. You know if they don't feel like talking. You know if they're distracted, the whole nine. In person, you get all of that and then some.
I don't have nothing to talk about on the phone, bro.
I won't say that.
No, because I don't have the time to sit there on the phone and just focus on sitting on the phone and talking to a woman.
Yeah.
I don't have that
Are you
time.
talking about where you're at in your life right now? Because I remember like when we were young, like it was.
Yeah, because there was nothing else. I have things that I'm
we
doing.
got responsibility.
When
Yeah,
I'm on the
yeah,
phone with you, Neil, you hear all kind of stuff going on.
Yeah, you yelling at your kids.
I'm not just
you know what I'm
sitting
saying?
down. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't.
Most of us are operating in some form of like, hey, I'm doing this over here. Hey, I'm catching up with you. Hey, this is what we're gonna talk about next week.
So my full focus in
I
the
catch up
conversation.
with you, but I be on the sticks.
Yeah,
I be
on the game.
Like I don't really, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I be chilling, bro.
It's not dedicated to the phone call.
My fault. I ain't got kids. I don't.
Nah, I'm just saying, like in a.
But I do think that these people that are running into these issues and feeling like they got to put these things together to help communicate. The best way to communicate is actually seeing each other in person or getting on the phone. Then you won't have to make lists.
But
in
you don't want to
person
go to
is super
Cheesecake
easy.
Factory, so I don't know what we gonna do.
And eat.
You don't want a coffee date. You don't want an ice cream date.
So,
Hey,
what are we
people,
doing, bro?
what about the people in the towns where there's only like maybe one or two of those spots on that list? They sitting there looking confused.
You seen?
I guess we're going to Black Bear Diner.
Yo, sheesh. Hey, y'all ain't see that video where somebody was making bear legs?
Bruh, hey, I almost threw my phone when I seen that.
One of the comments said, "Yo, y'all gonna leave the slippers on?" I was rolling. Yeah. So
Yo,
I mean, yeah, y'all could be eating. Hey, ladies, y'all could be eating some bear legs,
You ever
man.
had deep fried frog legs?
With the Uggs still attached to them.
Hit you with some hot sauce.
Nah, my nigga, you not gonna tell me you killed a bear and then cut his legs.
Somebody
off?
said this must be the bear Mystical was talking about.
Hell nah, man. That's why E40 said that shit too. E40 has said that shit and we wasn't paying attention because this niggas really out there eating bear legs.
They really eating bear legs, bro.
You ain't
It
never
was
heard
hilarious.
of Baronese?
Like it could get a conversation really confused.
Yeah, I seen that and I was like, wow, social media.
Y'all want some bear? Y'all
Yeah.
gonna have
Social
I'm
media
not-
is a funny place.
It's a very interesting place, man. It's a very interesting
like when
place.
they come to the potluck.
don't know.
What you bringing?
Y'all don't have nothing to worry about, man, because y'all don't really
Bring your
eat
bear
beef
legs.
and stuff like that anymore. It'd be me where I'm like, yo, is that really cow or is that the bear that was on our flag?
Yeah,
Well,
y'all
talk to me, man.
Y'all have a lot. You cannot confuse asparagus for green beans. They look different. they look.
But once it's cooked, man, when you cooking beef and stuff, like you don't know what is
Because
what,
back
man.
when I
So
was
yes,
getting chicken, I used to go to the grocery store on 24th and Florin, and I
free range chicken, right? Because you say your
Dog.
homies
He
eat free
caught him
range chicken.
himself.
Yeah.
Dog, the chicken was hella buff. Like the wing was like it's chicken wing plus.
So y'all had
black folks don't like
the chickens like walking out on stage to see which one y'all was gonna get.
wherever
That
they was
one right
copping
there
them
with the
chicken
beater
from.
on. He said the
There
chicken
was-
was buff. My man said it was in the package like this.
I'm like, you sure this ain't no turkey? You sure this not turkey?
Oh,
That
bro.
was
It beat up a turkey.
That's
so.
almost that's part of when I started. Like I wasn't trusting chicken. When Wingstop shit was looking different. It was like,
Yo.
why y'all chickens so small in their
Hey,
chickens?
all right. So real quick, this just because you said Wingstop, it like all right. So it tripped me out because remember when there was like a wing shortage, and there was that commercial. And there's that commercial with Rick Ross, and it's like, you ain't doing wings. He's like, nah, we doing thighs. And I'm just like, bro, aren't these thighs attached to the same chicken?
Yeah,
How are you getting chicken thighs and there's no wings?
And there's no
Why
wings.
is it a wing shortage and not a chicken shortage, nigga? What
You
is
see what I'm saying? And there's
It was-
no shortage on
So the
thighs.
chicken
Were y'all
just
stockpiling thighs?
walking
for this?
around without wings?
Like,
It was. Hey, let me tell you.
What's
There
going
was. I think the person that did this was racist. All right. I think.
wingless.
I think it was a racist bigot that was going around cutting the wings off all the chickens
Hell nah.
to troll black folks, man.
like so
Hey, there was a shortage on crab.
But they did have that. What's
the
that
whole
thigh stop?
crab.
The
though.
whole crab.
It wasn't just like, yo, we ain't got no legs, but you can get the centerpiece of the crab.
Maybe those
You see what
crabs
I'm
was
saying?
taking the chicken wings.
Like, yo, it's like, nah. If there's a shortage on wings,
Hey,
there should be a
y'all-
shortage on thighs
y'all
and
was-
breasts and everything else, bro. It should be a complete chicken shortage altogether.
That's what I'm saying. Because the wings come with the chicken.
Like, yo,
They was just
y'all just
running
got-
around on the farm with no arms. They was running around the farm with no arms. Like, yo, I woke up like this. What's going on?
that's wild.
Somebody did some voodoo on the chicken, man.
Y'all was out there hella mad. That's when they came up with thigh stop. I was doing DoorDash, man, and I was
Delivering hella
in the
thighs.
Wingstop parking lot, and the directions kept sending me to thigh stop. I was hella mad, confused. Like, man, what the fuck? I'm over at Wing.
Thigh stop.
I'm like,
There's a
Like-
thigh stop.
I like my nigga. This,
But
don't tell
they
me
changed
this.
the name to promote.
Wow.
Because they didn't have
I didn't
wings.
realize it was Wings Stop
So-
selling thighs.
Yeah, it's
man. I
thigh
was-
stop now. You feel me? Well, not now. I mean, they got wings somehow. But that was wild.
That shit, crazy. And they sell baked chicken in there now.
That's crazy, dog.
I have so many questions, but I'm
That
not
shit-
asking any.
That is hilarious.
That's mad.
Anyways,
Yo,
wingless chickens, boy.
how do you guys feel about Vince Staples' take on music not being art?
he right.
Okay.
All right, define art first. That's where we're gonna have to come from a basis of what is art, because I can see what he may be meaning if we have a definition.
Hold on.
He's pulling out the
Yeah,
briefcase.
we gotta have a definition of art.
We don't have to. I'm gonna just give you one though.
Hopefully.
Well, because I may disagree with him.
Hey,
if
man.
the definition is
Well, we got to go off the definition. Then we got to figure out if it's an art shortage. It might be an art shortage, man.
The expression or application of human creative skill and imagination, typically in a visual form such as painting or sculpture, producing works to be appreciated primarily for their beauty or emotional power.
Well, these niggas don't worry about the songs no more. They've got the visuals, so
The videos are trash.
they are trash in our artistic.
all right.
and from what we say.
So let's really just say it like this. At one point, music could be deemed art, but the artistic value has dropped dramatically to where it's almost non-existent because people don't care about the context, the content of their music. They're not actually using live instruments and bands and things of that nature, right? That you have to have a certain skill to play. Like the whole. There's no skill in it anymore for a lot of people out here. Not saying that nobody has skills because I rap, I got bars, that's cool and everything. But there's like a skillful element, an artistic element that's missing from music in this day and age. Like,
I mean, when I listen to Smino, I hear art.
well, I like Smino. He's a good artist. Like, but the whole thing about it is like there's certain artists you can listen to and you can hear the artistry in their music, in their delivery, and there's an emotional factor that comes into play when you're listening to certain people. But if we're talking about in general, we already know that music has dropped dramatically in artistic value and just like creativity altogether. Like, you can't single out one or two. Like, that's like saying the NBA has nothing but great ballers, and then you talk about somebody like Smush Parker. Like, it's just not.
No,
Why he got to get the stray?
I
He got to get the stray.
at one point in time, I could definitely agree that there was like, that was where it was how I felt about music. But honestly, right now, I feel like there's so, and I think this comes down to what your lens is on, what's on your radar, right? What's in your algorithm,
Right.
because what I tend to listen to, and what I've been hearing a lot of the music is like, I don't have enough time to listen to all the good creative new music that I've been finding, and not even finding that, I end up just getting consistently. So I think for the vast majority of people who may not be diggers or people who just listen to music maybe casually, there is a lack of artistic expression in the music that they tend to choose, which is going to represent the majority of people, because majority of people are
listening to trash.
Casual listeners. But for people who have an appreciation for the music and for the art, I can't get enough.
I think
at this point in time,
I think Ben Staples, as far as in the broad statement, is 100% wrong. I think if he's coming from a industry lens, because you said lens earlier, he's 100% right. If we're talking industry, yes, he's right, because when
he's looking at it from
he's looking at it from an industry seat. He's also looking at it from what certain things happen with the pieces of art, if you will, aka music, and how it's being distributed, what the artist is getting from it, you know, the meaning has changed. So I would say in the climate right now,
crazy right now,
you know what I'm saying? The climate right now, as far as the industry, he is 100% right, because there was a point where you had both in the industry. You had a lot of artists making pennies on a dollar to amazing pieces that they came out with, whether it was Illmatic, Reasonable Doubt, Biggie's Life After Death. I mean, the list goes on, right? But the issue is that you can't say something isn't art because it's not where you think it should be at. But what we can say is this right here, this song or this moment. If that person can't tell you the art behind it, which a lot of people can't, because I can name some people right now, it's not art. Blueface is not art. And that's why I think there's a difference in even with myself and how I carry myself as far as music. I've switched years ago from calling myself a rapper to an artist. Well, even on the paper, right? Which is part of the reason why Prince changed his name to the artist. It's because that's what's on the contract. The artist.
Well, because they took his name.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? But that right there, that's what they're acknowledging you as because of the skills and the things. But yeah, right now in this climate, we can name hundreds of people. It's like, nah, that's not art. It's simply just this. That's rap. And I think that people need to stop blending the two and calling rappers artists and artists rappers. We have to start categorizing things again, and that's what I do miss about back in the day, is things were in a category. You had pop, you had rap, you had country, you had whatever, and then the more they added different genres like drill and things like that, that's when the lines started getting blurred and everything was just, it was a gumbo. You know what I'm saying? Instead of this is roast, this is chicken, this is seafood. It's just a gumbo.
Well, a lot of it is just shit that, like, it's like when the kid
sounded like DMX when you started. Go ahead.
Before kids learn to actually draw, paint, and actually create actual art, they just throwing shit on the paper or whatever, and then they ask you to look at it. And sometimes all the colors they put together might be a good blend of colors. And you be like, "Ooh, that actually was kind of okay," but it still ain't art. And then they actually stick with it, learn to actually have some sort of visual that looks like some art, whether we know what it is or not. Sometimes there's different types of art, whereas like cubism and things like that.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how I look at it. If we're gonna look at it like that, it's like this is the music that we saying is not art. Is like kids just drawing on paper. And then the art is actually something that whether we appreciate it or like it or not, you can look at it and say, yeah, that is actually art. Mm-hmm. Heavy metal music I might not be a fan of, but I can probably hear a few songs and can kind of grasp what that artistic expression is like and say, maybe that is. Maybe that ain't.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like some of the people that you guys were naming. Let's take it back for a minute. Like Outkast, to me, that's art. The things that they talked about being in the South, the culture, the lingo, especially the album covers. Like their album covers did a great job describing who you were about to listen to and what's going to probably be involved when you open that CD case.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? There was a whole
trash.
there was a whole kind of concept campaign when an album came out.
You don't get that no more.
You don't get that anymore.
I see maybe West Side Gun maybe having some good album art. Oftentimes that represents what he's saying or something, but it's still like a lot of album art is like it's trash
because of streaming. Not a lot of people aren't coming out with hard copies of certain things anymore, so you're getting pieces of what you would normally get.
And they doing the AI album art thing too. I kind of don't like that. It's kind of funky.
Yeah. So I could see like now in the climate. Yeah, there's probably not a whole lot of art. Just like R&B, right? R&B music really isn't present. I mean, there's some artists that'll argue and say, it's not dead. I'm doing my thing. But it's not present like it was on the radio.
Oh, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
On the radio,
music videos, concerts, and the things have changed. So, like I said, when Vince Staples was saying, like, it's not art, I think he's speaking to the times, because we can't say in general that it's not art, because there's too much art there already. And as time goes on, and as some of these people unfortunately are not here anymore, that stuff is gonna, this is a work of art, kind of like what Jay did with the book of Hove. If you've actually watched that interview with Gayle King, there was actually some dope stuff that I learned about Jay-Z. The whole, I don't write my raps and I memorize everything in my head. It had a lot to do with how they had to record back then. I didn't know that until I watched that, because it's not like he talks about that in his music. That's kind of an art form, as far as in like, this is what we had to use. They're like, it's like ancient relics now to what we have. So all of that is creating the artist, right? I have to maneuver like this. It's just like when you see things on Instagram or Facebook where somebody but like they don't have any arms and just their feet, and they're painting great sculptures, bro. That's an art level. I was about to say they cut their hands off so they could paint. No, what I'm saying is like, I've seen great painting. I've seen one guy where he had 3 different sheets of paper and he had like this little thing, and he's like painting 2-3 different pictures at one time. Those like, that's impressive. That's crazy art. I mean, that's the foundation definition of art, but there's so many different ways that people find to execute things. I feel like what Jelani does is art. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, he does know how to customize some things. He ain't gonna do it for everybody, but that's art.
If you pay, tap in.
$1,000 deposit.
Services is only $85.
Bro, did you just do the horse thing, man? Did you just do the horse snort?
That was crazy.
Bro, we not even in the stable, dog. You wilding right now.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Anyways, this your boy Dizzy D Spill. You've been tuning into the Notion podcast with my tired and sleepy co-host in the building,
Jelani Evans.
We finna get out of here, man. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave comments. Let us know what kind of energy drinks we can take. You know what I'm saying? To stay more. You know what I mean? And they was over here rubbing eyes and yawning and you know what I'm saying?
I was just taking it all in.
Yeah. I feel what you're saying. But anyways, you already know where to find us as far as the brands. I got my Lavora Cole on lavoracole.com, kicksandsneakers.com, sesamestreet.com for Poe, the sweater. But if you want some fragrances and deodorant and stuff, check out Earth Tones. Until next time, tap in with us. Peace.